Attention! 94% of Americans over 60 are making this critical protein mistake every single morning. You think 3 eggs give you enough muscle-building power? What I'm about to reveal will completely change how you think about protein forever. If you're already questioning everything you know about protein, let me know in the comments. I'm reading every single one, and I want to hear from you throughout this video. There's a common food sitting in your grocery store right now that delivers 120 grams of protein in a single serving. That's 20 times more protein than your morning eggs, and it costs less than that carton you bought last week. Before we dive deeper, I have a quick question for you. Comment below right now with how many eggs you typically eat for breakfast. I guarantee that number is going to change by the end of this video. If you're over 60 and concerned about maintaining your strength and independence as you age, this information could make all the difference. What I'm about to share addresses one of the biggest nutritional gaps affecting older adults today. Here's what really surprises people when they first learn about this. While everyone's focusing on eggs and chicken breast, there are 7 everyday foods hiding in plain sight that provide superior muscle-building nutrition. Let me explain why this matters so much for anyone over 60. There's a natural process called sarcopenia that begins around age 30, where we gradually lose muscle mass and strength. After 60, this process accelerates, and we can lose up to 8% of our muscle mass each decade. This is why activities that used to feel effortless, like climbing stairs or opening jars, can become more challenging over time. The encouraging news is that proper nutrition can significantly slow this process and even help rebuild lost muscle mass. That's where these 7 remarkable foods come in. If you've been feeling like your current protein sources aren't giving you the results you want, you're probably right. These 7 foods I'm going to share don't just compete with eggs, they provide substantially more protein per serving. We're talking about 30 grams in some cases, 50 grams in others, and yes, even over 100 grams of protein in a single serving. When you compare that to the 18 grams you get from 3 eggs, you can see why this information might be valuable for your health goals. The best part about these options is their practicality. These aren't expensive, exotic imports or hard-to-find specialty items. They're foods you can pick up during your regular grocery shopping. Many of them are plant-based. Several are easier to digest than traditional animal proteins, and some have impressive shelf stability. You can stock up on these foods without worrying about spoilage. They don't require special preparation techniques, and most importantly, they taste good when prepared properly. Some of them can be eaten raw, others blend seamlessly into foods you're already eating, and a few can completely replace less efficient protein sources in your current routine. Let me start with the first food that might completely change your morning routine. Have you ever heard of nutritional yeast? I know the name doesn't sound appealing, but this isn't the bitter brewer's yeast you might be thinking of. This golden, flaky powder has a pleasant, nutty flavor that many people describe as naturally cheese-like. 100 grams of nutritional yeast provides approximately 45 to 50 grams of complete protein. To put that in perspective, that's equivalent to the protein content of about 8 large eggs, but it's delivered in a form that many people find easier to digest. The reason for this digestibility advantage is the fermentation process used to create nutritional yeast. This process partially breaks down the proteins, making the amino acids more readily available for your body to absorb and utilize. For older adults who sometimes experience digestive challenges with large protein meals, this can be particularly beneficial. Think about how you feel after eating a large steak or chicken breast. Many people experience heaviness, bloating, or digestive discomfort. That's your body working hard to break down complex proteins into individual amino acids. With nutritional yeast, much of that work has already been done through fermentation. The amino acid profile is comprehensive, containing all 18 amino acids, including the 9 essential ones your body cannot produce on its own. It's particularly rich in lysine, which supports collagen synthesis and calcium absorption, and tryptophan, which your body uses to produce serotonin and support healthy sleep patterns. This is important because as we age, our ability to synthesize certain amino acids can decline, making it even more crucial to get them from dietary sources. Lysine, for example, is often the limiting amino acid in plant-based diets, but nutritional yeast provides abundant amounts. Nutritional yeast also provides beta-glucans, the same beneficial fiber compounds found in medicinal mushrooms. These support immune function and help reduce systemic inflammation, which is important for maintaining muscle health as we age. Chronic inflammation can actually accelerate muscle loss, so foods that naturally combat inflammation serve a dual purpose. From a vitamin perspective, most commercial nutritional yeast is fortified with B-complex vitamins, particularly B12. Just 2 tablespoons can provide several 100% of your daily B12 requirement, along with other B vitamins that are essential for energy metabolism and protein synthesis. This is especially valuable since B12 deficiency becomes more common with age and can contribute to fatigue and weakness. B12 is crucial for the formation of red blood cells and the maintenance of nerve function. Without adequate B12, your body can't effectively transport oxygen to your muscles, and nerve signals that control muscle contraction can become impaired. Many older adults have difficulty absorbing B12 from traditional sources, making fortified nutritional yeast an excellent alternative. Nutritional yeast is also one of the few food sources of glutathione, often called the body's master antioxidant. Natural glutathione production tends to decline significantly after age 65, so dietary sources become more important for supporting cellular health and recovery. Glutathione plays a critical role in protecting muscle cells from oxidative damage during exercise and daily activities. It also supports the detoxification processes that help clear metabolic waste products from muscle tissue, promoting faster recovery and reduced soreness. The versatility of nutritional yeast makes it easy to incorporate into daily meals. You can sprinkle it on popcorn for a cheese-like flavor. Stir it into soups to add depth and creaminess. Blend it into sauces for pasta or vegetables, or add it to mashed potatoes for extra richness without dairy. Many people use it to create dairy-free cheese sauces that taste remarkably similar to traditional cheese sauces, but without the saturated fat and potential digestive issues that come with dairy. 2 tablespoons provide about 8 grams of protein, and many people comfortably use up to a quarter cup daily, contributing about 20 grams of high-quality protein. Some creative ways to use nutritional yeast include mixing it into scrambled eggs for extra protein and B vitamins, adding it to salad dressings for a nutty flavor, or even sprinkling it over avocado toast. The key is starting with smaller amounts and gradually increasing as your taste buds adjust to the unique flavor. Now let me tell you about our second protein source, which comes from something that's been sustaining human nutrition for thousands of years. Spirulina is a blue-green algae that ancient civilizations relied on for strength and endurance, and modern research has validated many of these traditional uses. The Aztecs harvested spirulina from Lake Texcoco and formed it into cakes that could sustain warriors on long journeys. Today, Olympic athletes and endurance competitors use spirulina supplements to enhance performance and recovery. What they knew intuitively, we now understand scientifically. By dry weight, Spirulina ranges from 60 to 70% protein. 1 tablespoon provides about 4 grams, but the remarkable aspect is the bioavailability. Your body can utilize approximately 95% of spirulina's protein, compared to around 70% utilization from eggs, and often much less from other plant proteins. This high bioavailability is particularly valuable for older adults whose digestive systems may not process proteins as efficiently as they once did. When your body can extract and use nearly all the protein from a food source, you need less total protein to meet your daily requirements. Spirulina contains phycocyanin, the blue pigment that functions as both an antioxidant and anti-inflammatory compound. Research indicates it can enhance muscle endurance by up to 20%, while reducing exercise-induced oxidative stress. This means your muscles can work longer before fatigue sets in, and they recover more quickly afterward. The mechanism behind this endurance boost involves improved oxygen utilization at the cellular level. Phycocyanin helps optimize the electron transport chain in mitochondria, the powerhouses of your cells, leading to more efficient energy production and less waste product accumulation. Spirulina provides a substantial amount of iron, approximately 11% of daily requirements in 1 tablespoon. Unlike synthetic iron supplements that can cause digestive upset, spirulina's iron is naturally chelated with amino acids, making it gentle and highly absorbable. Iron deficiency is a common but often overlooked cause of fatigue and weakness in older adults. Iron is essential for the formation of hemoglobin, which carries oxygen throughout your body, and myoglobin, which stores oxygen in muscle tissue. Without adequate iron, your muscles can't function at their optimal capacity, leading to premature fatigue and reduced exercise tolerance. The algae also contains gamma-linolenic acid, an unusual omega-6 fatty acid that actually reduces inflammation rather than promoting it. Most omega-6 fats in the modern diet come from processed vegetable oils and contribute to inflammation. But GLA works differently. Studies suggest it can decrease muscle stiffness and improve recovery times by up to 30%. This anti-inflammatory effect is particularly valuable for people who experience morning stiffness or joint discomfort. The GLA in spirulina can help reduce the inflammatory compounds that cause these symptoms while supporting overall muscle and joint health. What makes spirulina particularly interesting is its amino acid composition. It contains high levels of the branched-chain amino acids leucine, isoleucine, and valine, which directly stimulate muscle protein synthesis. These amino acids bypass the liver and go directly to muscle tissue, where they can immediately begin the process of building and repairing muscle fibers. The amino acid ratios in spirulina closely match those found in human muscle tissue, allowing for efficient utilization. This is relatively rare in plant proteins, which often have limiting amino acids that can reduce their overall protein quality. The concentration is remarkable. 1 pound of spirulina provides equivalent protein to 35 pounds of beef, which gives you an idea of its nutrient density. This makes it an incredibly efficient protein source, especially for people who want to increase their protein intake without dramatically increasing their food volume. 1 to 2 teaspoons daily can contribute 8 to 12 grams of protein while providing all these additional beneficial compounds. This makes it easy to boost your daily protein intake without making major changes to your eating patterns. The taste is mild and earthy, often compared to green tea rather than the fishy flavor people might expect. It blends well into fruit smoothies, where the fruit flavors can mask any taste you might find unfamiliar. You can also stir it into yogurt, mix it with juice, or even add it to energy balls or protein bars. Some people find the color initially off-putting, as spirulina can turn smoothies and other foods a vibrant blue-green color. However, when mixed with fruits like berries or mango, the color becomes more appealing, and the nutritional benefits are substantial. Let me share information about our third protein source, which has an interesting regulatory history that has nothing to do with safety concerns. Hemp hearts, also known as hemp seeds, are the hulled seeds of the hemp plant. These are completely legal throughout the United States and contain no psychoactive compounds, despite some lingering confusion about hemp regulations. The confusion stems from hemp's relationship to cannabis, but industrial hemp contains less than 0.3% THC, the psychoactive compound found in marijuana. Hemp hearts contain no detectable THC and are approved by the FDA as a food ingredient. They're sold in major grocery stores, health food stores, and online retailers. 100 grams of hemp hearts provide 31 grams of complete protein, which exceeds the protein content of many animal sources. A more practical serving of 3 tablespoons delivers about 10 grams of easily absorbed protein. This makes hemp hearts one of the most protein-dense seeds available. Hemp's protein profile includes all 20 amino acids in ratios that closely resemble human muscle tissue. This is unusual for plant proteins, which typically have 1 or more limiting amino acids. About 65% of hemp's protein comes from edestin, a globular protein that's particularly easy to digest and helps support the production of enzymes, hormones, and antibodies. Edestin is sometimes called the most digestible protein because it closely resembles the proteins found in human blood plasma. This similarity allows your body to quickly break it down and utilize the amino acids for various physiological processes. The remaining protein in hemp comes from albumin, another highly digestible protein that supports immune function and helps transport nutrients throughout the body. Together, edestin and albumin provide a protein combination that's both complete and highly bioavailable. The fat composition of hemp hearts is particularly noteworthy. They provide an optimal omega-6 to omega-3 ratio of approximately 3:1. Most Western diets have ratios closer to 15 or 20:1, which promotes inflammation throughout the body. This chronic inflammation can accelerate muscle breakdown and interfere with recovery. Hemp helps restore this balance, creating a more favorable environment for muscle maintenance and growth. The omega-3 fatty acids in hemp include alpha-linolenic acid, which your body can convert into EPA and DHA, the same beneficial fatty acids found in fish oil. Hemp hearts are rich in magnesium, with 3 tablespoons providing about half of daily requirements. Magnesium is involved in over 300 enzymatic reactions, many related to energy production and muscle function. Many older adults have suboptimal magnesium status, often due to decreased absorption, medication interactions, or simply inadequate dietary intake. Magnesium deficiency can manifest as muscle cramps, weakness, fatigue, and irregular heartbeat. Since magnesium supplements can cause digestive upset in some people, food sources like hemp hearts provide a gentler alternative that's often better tolerated. These seeds also provide substantial arginine, approximately 3 grams per 3 tablespoons serving. Arginine is a semi-essential amino acid that becomes more important as we age, particularly for cardiovascular health and immune function. Arginine supports nitric oxide production, which can improve circulation by up to 20%. Better blood flow enhances oxygen and nutrient delivery to muscles while improving waste removal. This translates to better exercise performance, faster recovery, and reduced muscle soreness. Improved circulation also benefits cognitive function, as the brain requires substantial blood flow to function optimally. Many older adults notice improvements in mental clarity and energy levels when they increase their arginine intake through food sources like hemp hearts. Hemp hearts have a pleasant, nutty flavor, similar to sunflower seeds or pine nuts. They can be eaten directly from the bag as a snack, sprinkled on salads for extra protein and crunch, blended into smoothies for added nutrition, or used to make hemp milk. Hemp milk has become increasingly popular as a dairy alternative because it contains more protein than most other plant-based milks. You can make it at home by blending hemp hearts with water and straining, or purchase it ready-made from most grocery stores. Their natural vitamin E content helps prevent rancidity, giving hemp hearts better shelf stability than many nuts and seeds. They can be stored at room temperature for several months, or refrigerated for even longer storage life. Our fourth protein source has a fascinating historical background that speaks to its nutritional power. Amaranth was a staple grain of the Aztec Empire and was so valued that it was used in religious ceremonies and tribute payments. When Spanish conquistadors arrived in the New World, they banned amaranth cultivation, partly because of its cultural significance, and partly because they recognized its nutritional superiority. The Spanish colonizers wanted to replace indigenous foods with European crops, but they also understood that amaranth gave the native populations exceptional strength and endurance. Historical records suggest that Aztec warriors could march for days, sustained primarily by amaranth-based foods. Today, amaranth is making a comeback as people rediscover its exceptional nutritional profile. A cooked cup of amaranth provides 14 grams of complete protein, with all essential amino acids. This makes it superior to most other grains, which typically lack sufficient lysine to be considered complete proteins. Amaranth actually contains about twice as much lysine as wheat or corn, making it particularly valuable for muscle protein synthesis. Lysine is often the limiting amino acid in plant-based diets, so foods that provide abundant lysine help ensure optimal protein utilization. Lysine also supports calcium absorption and helps your body produce carnitine, a compound that transports fatty acids into mitochondria, where they can be burned for energy. This makes amaranth not just a protein source, but also a food that supports efficient fat metabolism and energy production. Amaranth contains a unique peptide called leucine, which has been shown to reduce inflammation by up to 40% in some studies. Leucine also helps protect muscle proteins from degradation while supporting the synthesis of new muscle tissue. This dual action makes it particularly valuable for people concerned about age-related muscle loss. The anti-inflammatory effects of leucine extend beyond muscle tissue. Research suggests it may help reduce cholesterol levels, support cardiovascular health, and even have anti-cancer properties. While more research is needed, the initial findings are promising. The mineral content of amaranth is impressive, with one cooked cup providing about 115 milligrams of well-absorbed calcium. This calcium is important not just for bone health, but for proper muscle contraction and nerve signaling. Calcium deficiency can lead to muscle cramps, weakness, and irregular heartbeat. Unlike some plant sources of calcium that contain compounds which inhibit absorption, amaranth provides calcium in a highly bioavailable form that doesn't cause the digestive issues some people experience with dairy products. Amaranth also provides significant amounts of iron, magnesium, phosphorus, and manganese. This mineral combination supports energy production, oxygen transport, bone health, and antioxidant function throughout the body. Another beneficial component of amaranth is its resistant starch content. Resistant starch acts as a prebiotic, feeding beneficial gut bacteria that produce short-chain fatty acids like butyrate. These compounds reduce systemic inflammation and may help preserve muscle mass through improved gut-muscle communication. The gut-muscle axis is an emerging area of research that suggests the health of your digestive system directly impacts muscle maintenance and growth. By supporting beneficial gut bacteria, amaranth may provide muscle benefits beyond its direct protein content. Amaranth is incredibly versatile in preparation. You can cook it like rice, use it in soups and stews, or grind it into flour for baking. One particularly interesting preparation method is popping amaranth like tiny popcorn. When heated in a dry skillet, amaranth seeds pop and become light and crunchy. Popped amaranth has about 5 grams of protein per cup and makes an excellent snack or topping for soups, salads, and yogurt. You can season it with spices, nutritional yeast, or herbs to create a protein-rich alternative to traditional snack foods. Amaranth flour can be used to replace up to 25% of wheat flour in most recipes, adding protein, minerals, and a slightly nutty flavor. This makes it an easy way to boost the nutritional content of baked goods without dramatically changing their texture or taste. Now let me introduce you to a legume that might surprise you with its protein content and unique nutritional profile. Lupini beans provide approximately 40 grams of protein per cooked cup, which exceeds the protein content of a chicken breast. These beans have been cultivated around the Mediterranean for thousands of years, but remain relatively unknown in North America. The history of lupini beans is interesting because they were originally quite bitter and even toxic due to alkaloids in their natural state. Ancient civilizations developed elaborate soaking and rinsing processes to remove these compounds, making the beans safe and palatable. Modern varieties have been bred to be naturally low in alkaloids, so they require less processing. The protein in lupini beans is highly digestible and rich in the amino acids that aging muscles need most. They're particularly high in arginine, providing about 4 grams per cup, even more than hemp hearts. This supports improved circulation and nutrient delivery to muscle tissue. Arginine becomes increasingly important as we age because our natural production tends to decline. This can lead to reduced circulation, slower wound healing, and impaired immune function. Dietary sources like lupini beans help maintain optimal arginine levels. Lupini beans also provide all 3 branched-chain amino acids in substantial quantities. Leucine, isoleucine, and valine directly stimulate muscle protein synthesis and can help overcome the anabolic resistance that develops with age. The leucine content is particularly impressive at about 3 grams per cup. Leucine acts as a signal to activate the mTOR pathway, which initiates muscle protein synthesis. Research suggests that older adults need higher leucine intake to achieve the same muscle-building response as younger people, making leucine-rich foods like lupini beans particularly valuable. What makes lupini beans unique among legumes is their low carbohydrate content. A full cup contains only about 10 grams of net carbohydrates, compared to 30 to 40 grams in most other beans. This makes them excellent for people who want to maintain stable blood sugar while consuming adequate protein. Stable blood sugar is important for muscle health because elevated glucose levels can promote inflammation and interfere with protein synthesis. The low-carb profile of lupini beans helps avoid these issues while still providing substantial protein. The glycemic index of lupini beans is extremely low, meaning they have minimal impact on blood sugar levels. This makes them suitable for people with diabetes or prediabetes who need to carefully manage their carbohydrate intake. Lupini beans contain special proteins called conglutins, particularly congluten gamma, which research suggests can lower blood glucose by up to 20% and improve insulin sensitivity. Better insulin sensitivity means your muscles can more effectively absorb and utilize amino acids for repair and growth. These natural compounds work by slowing the absorption of glucose from other foods and improving the body's response to insulin. This effect is similar to some diabetes medications, but without the side effects or cost. The prebiotic fiber in lupini beans supports beneficial gut bacteria that produce butyrate and other short-chain fatty acids. These compounds reduce inflammation throughout the body and support muscle health through the gut-muscle axis. Butyrate is particularly interesting because it can directly influence muscle metabolism and may help prevent muscle wasting associated with aging and inactivity. By supporting butyrate-producing bacteria, lupini beans may provide muscle benefits beyond their direct protein content. Lupini beans are traditionally prepared by soaking and boiling, then eating them as a snack, often with a sprinkle of salt. In Mediterranean countries, they're commonly served in bars and cafes as a high-protein alternative to nuts. You can also use lupini beans in salads, stews, and casseroles, much like other legumes. They have a firm texture and mild flavor that works well in both hot and cold dishes. Some people grind them into flour for baking, creating high-protein, low-carb baked goods. Let me tell you about a fermented food that addresses many concerns people have about soy products while providing exceptional protein quality. Tempeh is made from fermented soybeans and provides about 31 grams of protein per cup, matching many animal protein sources in both quantity and quality. The key difference between tempeh and other soy products lies in the fermentation process. Tempeh is made using a beneficial mold called Rhizopus oligosporus, which binds the soybeans together and transforms their nutritional profile. This fermentation process makes tempeh quite different from tofu, soy milk, or processed soy products. The fermentation process makes tempeh more digestible than other soy products because it partially pre-digests the proteins, breaking them down into smaller peptides and amino acids. This same process creates beneficial probiotics that can increase protein utilization by up to 40% compared to unfermented soy. The probiotics in tempeh include various strains of beneficial bacteria and yeasts that support digestive health and may enhance the absorption of nutrients throughout the digestive system. This is particularly valuable for older adults who may have compromised digestive function. Fermentation also produces vitamin K2, specifically the MK7 form, providing about 30 micrograms per serving. K2 is crucial for bone and cardiovascular health because it helps direct calcium into bones and muscles while keeping it out of arteries where it can cause problems. Vitamin K2 is relatively rare in the modern diet, found primarily in fermented foods and organ meats. Most people get plenty of vitamin K1 from leafy greens, but K2 serves different functions and is often deficient in older adults. The fermentation process addresses many of the concerns people have about soy by reducing anti-nutrients like phytic acid and trypsin inhibitors. These compounds can interfere with mineral absorption and protein digestion, but fermentation largely eliminates them. Tempeh also contains beneficial enzymes produced during fermentation that can aid in protein digestion and overall nutrient absorption. These enzymes remain active even after cooking, providing ongoing digestive support. The isoflavones in tempeh have generated controversy, but research consistently shows that people who consume traditional fermented soy products tend to maintain better muscle mass and bone density as they age. The key appears to be the fermentation process, which modifies the isoflavones into more beneficial forms. Fermentation converts isoflavones into more bioactive compounds that may actually support healthy hormone balance rather than disrupting it. The amounts found in whole food sources, like tempeh, are also much lower than those used in most supplement studies. Population studies from Asia, where fermented soy products are commonly consumed, show lower rates of osteoporosis, muscle wasting, and cardiovascular disease among older adults. While this doesn't prove causation, it suggests that traditional fermented soy products can be part of a healthy aging diet. Beyond the nutritional benefits, tempeh wins when it comes to taste and texture. Unlike soft tofu, tempeh is firm, hearty, and satisfying. It's much closer to meat in how it feels and cooks, making it an excellent protein source for people who want something more substantial. Tempeh has a slightly nutty, mushroom-like flavor that many people find appealing even if they don't enjoy other soy products. It absorbs flavors well, making it versatile for various cooking methods and seasonings. You can crumble tempeh into tacos or pasta sauces, slice it for sandwiches or stir-fries, cube it for stews and curries, or marinate and grill it as a main course. The firm texture holds up well to most cooking methods, unlike some plant proteins that can become mushy. Tempeh is also more environmentally sustainable than many animal protein sources, requiring less water, land, and energy to produce while generating fewer greenhouse gas emissions. This makes it an attractive option for people concerned about the environmental impact of their food choices. Our final protein source might be the most practical for many people, especially those who already use protein powders or supplements. While whey protein dominates the supplement market, pumpkin seed protein powder offers some unique advantages, especially for older adults. Pumpkin seed protein provides approximately 60 grams of protein per 100 grams of powder, making it one of the most concentrated protein sources available. A typical serving provides about 20 to 25 grams of protein, comparable to most whey protein powders. One of the biggest advantages of pumpkin seed protein is its mineral content, particularly zinc. Just one serving provides about 8 milligrams of this vital mineral that's essential for protein synthesis, immune function, wound healing, and hormone production. Zinc deficiency is surprisingly common among older adults, often due to poor absorption, medication interactions, or inadequate dietary intake. Symptoms can include slow wound healing, frequent infections, hair loss, and reduced sense of taste and smell. Zinc is directly involved in protein synthesis, serving as a cofactor for enzymes that build muscle proteins. Without adequate zinc, your body cannot effectively use the protein you consume, regardless of how much you eat. Pumpkin seed protein provides zinc bound to amino acids, making it highly bioavailable and gentle on the digestive system. This is a significant advantage over many zinc supplements, which can cause nausea, stomach upset, or interfere with the absorption of other minerals. This protein powder is exceptionally high in tryptophan, containing about 600 milligrams per serving. Tryptophan is the precursor to serotonin and melatonin, making it important for both mood regulation and sleep quality. Sleep becomes increasingly important for muscle recovery as we age. During deep sleep, your body releases growth hormone and conducts most of its muscle repair and building activities. Poor sleep can significantly impair muscle recovery and growth. Research indicates that pumpkin seed protein can improve sleep quality by up to 30% in some individuals, helping people fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and wake up more refreshed. This makes it an ideal evening protein source. The magnesium content is substantial, providing about 150 milligrams per serving. Magnesium supports energy production, muscle function, and nervous system health. It also works synergistically with calcium to support proper muscle contraction and relaxation. Many older adults have inadequate magnesium intake, which can contribute to muscle cramps, restless sleep, and chronic fatigue. The magnesium in pumpkin seed protein is highly bioavailable and well tolerated. Pumpkin seed protein also provides significant amounts of iron, phosphorus, and manganese. The iron content covers approximately 20% of daily needs in a form that doesn't typically cause digestive issues like some iron supplements. Iron is essential for oxygen transport and energy production in muscle cells. Even mild iron deficiency can lead to reduced exercise capacity and increased fatigue, making adequate iron intake crucial for maintaining muscle function. Digestibility is another major advantage of pumpkin seed protein. Unlike many proteins,